In this video, we're going to look at the different parts of floor looms. I'm using my LeClerc 4-shaft jack loom, but these basic parts apply to most floor looms. They might look a little different on different types or models of looms, but they have similar functions. Some smaller looms may also have some of these parts, but they may also have some different parts. If you haven't already watched my video on basic vocabulary, you may want to watch that first. I'll link it in the upper corner. Beams. At the back of your loom, the lower beam is called your warp beam, and it holds your warp. Above the warp beam is your back beam. This brings your warp threads up to the level of weaving. As your warp comes to the front of the loom, it comes up and over the front beam. After you weave your cloth, it comes down and wraps around the cloth beam, which holds your finished fabric. Both the warp beam and the cloth beam have aprons and apron rods that are used to attach the warp to the loom. They also help reduce the amount of loom waste by coming up and over the upper beams. You might have a cloth apron or you might have apron cords. Breaks. Now these are the two most common types of breaks. The first one is a friction break, which uses friction to hold tension. The other is a ratchet and pawl break, which has a metal lever, the pawl, that catches in the teeth of the ratchet to physically stop the beam from rolling. Down on the floor, I have a brake release that releases my friction brake at the back of the loom. And I also have a locking catch that can hold that brake down in the released position for things like dressing the loom. The brake release has a cord that attaches it to the brake at the back of the loom. Castle. The castle is the space formed in the middle of the loom by two vertical supports and helps contain and support the moving parts of the loom. The castle may or may not have a shelf or tray on the top. In the center of your castle, you will find your shafts, which lift up or down. My loom has 4 shafts. You can have as few as 2, or you can have many more. I've seen as many as 24 shafts. Some people call shafts harnesses. I learned that a harness was a set of shafts for a particular loom, and a harness might have a threading that was proven to be true. If you were a production weaver, you might have multiple harnesses for the same loom that you could lift out and interchange without having to rethread. Each shaft has an outer frame which supports a heddle bar or a heddle rod that in turn holds your heddles. Heddles may be metal or they may be made out of tied threads. Each heddle will have one warp thread going through it, and the order that you thread your heddles helps determine your pattern. In front of your shafts, you will have your beater, which will swing forward and compress your weaving together. This is called beating. Inside your beater, you will have a reed. The reed has spaces in it called dents, and the reed helps you space your warp and establish your cloth width and density. This reed is a 12 dent reed, meaning it has 12 spaces per inch. My beater also has a shuttle race on it, which is just a little ledge that helps support my shuttle and keep it from falling down through the warp. Treadles. Underneath your loom you will find the treadles, which is how you control your shafts. The order of the tie-up and the order that you press down your treadles is the other half of your pattern. And I am just now noticing how dirty and dusty my floor and loom were. Yeesh. Can you tell I have cats? Please ignore all that. The treadles have tie-up cords or sometimes tie-up chains that connect to lambs under the shafts. Each shaft then has a jack that pushes it up when the lamb is pulled down. Jack looms and countermarch looms will have jacks, while a counterbalance loom uses a system of pulleys instead. If you are unsure about the parts of your loom, look online and search for your loom manual. It will list the parts for you and usually give a diagram to show you where they are. I hope this helps you get to know your loom better, and happy weaving!